Hi, my name is Dale Davidson. I'm an attorney here in Southwest Georgia and North Florida, and I'm a VA accredited attorney, so welcome to the VA Guy channel. We're going to be talking about a lot of different issues with respect to veterans and also spouses of veterans, so stay tuned. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. So today's video is the difference between disability indemnity compensation and VA pension. A lot of people call it aid and attendance. So what exactly is the difference between disability indemnity compensation and pension? Now I'm going to call disability indemnity compensation DIC because I get tongue twisted with those three words. So let's jump in. So think about disability compensation, or DIC, as workers' compensation for an injury that occurred in service. So just like if you're in the private sector and you are injured on the job and you get workers' compensation, if you're injured while in service, you may be eligible for DIC. So the biggest difference between DIC and pension is that there's an actual injury in service, service-connected injury for DIC. You don't have that same service-connected or in-service injury for pension. So that's the biggest issue. So we've got some cheat sheets here as far as in-service injury that we'll be glad to send to you with respect to that, with respect to DIC, and specifically with respect to Agent Orange exposures during the Vietnam era and blue water. And so a lot of people say, well, you know, I wasn't on the front lines, I didn't get injured, but maybe your injury kind of manifests itself after service, substantially, a long period after service. For instance, prostate cancer. Okay, prostate cancer is a presumed disability under VA if you were in the service and you served in Vietnam. Again, DIC, you've got to have an in-service injury. You didn't have to actually be physically injured while you were in service, but you may have been exposed to certain chemicals and other hazards while you were in service that your injury manifests itself sometime after service. So that's DIC. That is the workers' comp for veterans. Okay, so that's a totally different thing from pension. Now, let's talk a little bit about pension, or the aid and attendance, because you don't have to have the injury component. Okay, so, but there are some tests you have to meet. Number one, you've got to serve during a qualifying wartime period. Okay, and our little cheat sheet that we'll send to you here gives you the qualifying wartime services. For instance, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. We don't have the dates yet for Desert Storm. So, and there's some particular dates with respect to Vietnam that you had to be in country, but as a general rule, you don't have to be in country. So you've got to serve during a qualifying wartime period. Okay, you've got to have or need of assistance with activities of daily living. Now, what's an activity of daily living? Eating, preparing meals, bathing, personal hygiene matters, medication management, driving, all of those things. If you need some assistance with your activities of daily living, then you could qualify for this benefit. Now, there's two tests that you have to meet after the first two. Remember, qualifying wartime period and assistance with activities of daily living. The first test is your income test. Your income can't be greater than the maximum pension rate. So let's say that you are a widowed veteran, okay? And so your income is $2,000. Well, the maximum pension rate for a veteran is about $1,800, okay? So because your income is higher than that, you would think you don't qualify. That's not true. Absolutely not, okay? Because what the VA doesn't tell you, but what we will tell you, is that you get to deduct certain unreimbursed medical expenses in determining what your income for VA purposes was or is. So let's take your $2,000 income example. Now, you might have a Medicare Part B that you pay $149.50. Okay, you get to deduct that. You might have a supplemental insurance through Aetna or Blue Cross Blue Shield or AARP or whoever it may be. You get to deduct that. But what about the caretakers and the people that take care of you and do those activities or help you with those daily activities that you need help with? You get to deduct that also. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at your income and we'll plan for your unreimbursed medical expenses and see if we can get your income down as close to zero as possible. Because if we can do that, then you could qualify for the maximum pension rate. In this case, for a widowed veteran, it's $1,800. Then the last test is an asset test. And the asset test says that your assets cannot exceed, it's about $128,000, $130,000. Now, from that, the VA doesn't tell you this, but we'll tell you this, is that you get to exclude certain assets, such as your house, but we have to look at how many acres you have, and there's some other things that you get to exclude from your assets as far as getting below that limit. So let's recap the criteria for the pension. Number one, you must have served during an active wartime period, and that is defined by the VA. Then you've got to have, you need assistance with activities of daily living. Let me give you an example of preparing meals. I can tell you from experience that cooking or microwaving Swanson's Hungry Man dinners is not cooking, okay? Neither is opening a can of Campbell's soup and heating that up on the stove. Let me tell you what the VA says is cooking. Planning your meals, driving to the grocery store, fighting all those people with all those carts in the middle of the aisles, loading your cart up, checking out, driving home, unloading it, taking it back out, cooking, cleaning up, and putting the dishes away. That's cooking. So if you can't drive, or you're not supposed to drive, how are you going to get to the grocery store? Okay, so you need assistance with that activity. If you're a fall risk, you need assistance with your personal hygiene. If you have arthritis in your hands, okay, you can't open those childproof bottles. You need medication management. So again, don't worry about the activities of daily living, because we're going to explain all those things to you, and we're going to show you how you can be qualified for this. And then of course you've got your income limit, okay, but we're going to focus on your activities of daily living as it relates to your income and be able to deduct certain unreimbursed medical expenses to get your income down to as close to zero as possible. Don't worry, your bills are still going to get paid, all right? And then the last is the asset test. Okay, so again, the assets, they seem pretty low, but realize there are some exclusions from your assets that we can take into account. So let me just give you a recap of what we've talked about, the difference between Disability Indemnity Comp, or DIC, and pension. Both of them are VA pensions, okay? Both of them are income tax free, okay? The DIC, you have got to have a in-service injury You've got to be injured while in service. By the way, there's no qualifying wartime period, okay, for DIC. So if you've been injured in Desert Storm, maybe those burn pits that are out there. So there's some information out there on your exposure to the toxins coming out of the burn pits. But so you were injured at some point in time during your service. That's service-connected injury. Okay. Then we have the pension, and the pension again, not a service-connected injury, but you've got those at those different tests. Now realize that the pension, the VA pension, a lot of widowers don't know about it. A lot of surviving spouses don't know about it. Why? Because the government doesn't tell you. Okay, why don't they want to tell you? I have no earthly idea, because they're the government. All right, so probably 80 to 90% of our clients are surviving spouses of qualifying wartime veterans. And why is that? Because they need the help, and we're here to help. Okay, their husbands didn't tell them about it because the government didn't tell them about it. But we're here to spread the word. So if you like what you heard today and we were helpful to you, and you have some additional questions, or you know somebody who would like to, who needs this information, we'll be glad to send this to you, these little cheat sheets. But we need you to go below here, and we need you to click on that link. It'll take you to our website. You fill out that information, and then we will send you an email with all of this great information that you can use to help your loved ones and share with anybody who may be in need. But in the meantime, go out and make a difference in somebody's day today. Thank you for watching.
No more whiskey, I'll have a Coke. Catching bass on an old fishing boat. One more story from Grandpa Joe.